boy.
Or his dress shirt.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Motor City Man Mouth and Marvin on the mic show. We're in the house, Marvin.
Hey, happy to be here, man. Ready to get this thing going.
Look at that white shirt. He is, in the eyes of Freddie Prinze, looking good. All right, right? Were you old enough to see Freddie Prinze looking good?
Appreciate it, man.
Man? For your time.
I am. I'm
all right, well, let's
get
to it. Let's get to it. Man's looking really good. All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about the fact that Spain is recruiting 10,000 volunteers to drink wine for 4 years in one of the largest clinical trials in history to study the long-term effects of moderate alcohol consumption, specifically wine. Marvin, some thoughts about this one?
They should have no problem getting volunteers to do that. Listen, we as a people, human beings, love to drink. Wine is the drink of choice for many people. A clinical trial, that sounds like a party to me, you know? That's good. That's cool, man. Listen, those are the kind of clinical trials that I like, okay? If it involves, drinking wine, eating cake, anything like that, I'm your guy. Believe me, I am. But listen, they live a whole other life in Europe, alcohol consumption and how they and all their recreational stuff. It's wide open out there. And, it makes sense that a European country would do that. And I'm looking forward to seeing, what those trials reveal, to be honest with you. Interesting. But yeah, they shouldn't have any problems getting anybody to sign up for that.
Well, have no problem getting me signing up for it either. Bring it on, baby. Let's go ahead and bring it on. That's the one thing about this show, Marvin. We do all kinds of different topics for sure. And I don't care where they're coming from. It's called a gunslinger approach on this particular show. A lot more of them are structured, not this one. It is anything but. Okay. According to the Daily Mail, get this. They're one of our sources. There is outrageous Venezuelan Little League team is denied U.S. visas for a tournament. They have a photo of Donald Trump wearing a U.S. hat. My gosh. Come on. What's not? Deny the Venezuelan Little League team. These are the kids.
That's a heartbreaking situation, man. A lot of people hate when politics get involved in sports, in the NFL and stuff like that, in the NBA. And, I kind of get that, even though I think these guys need a platform and they use their platform. But when it comes to the kids, little league kids, we got to put that stuff aside. This is a life-changing opportunity. Little League baseball, especially on an international level, with the World Series and how they do this thing. And I think it's in Pennsylvania where they play the Little League World Series. But it's horrible, man. It's a horrible situation, a horrible look. And you would think that Donald Trump would, put all the political BS aside. Let the kids play ball. Let them have that lifetime opportunity. Let them come to America, see how great our country is. Just, leave the kids alone, man. Just leave the kids alone. That's really, I don't mind when politics and sports collide. I don't mind at all. But in this type of situation where it's kids and it's the youth and it's just such an innocent situation, we got to put that stuff aside, man. It hurts us as human beings. I think it's a bad look for America, and I think it's a bad look for our president.
Yeah, I can tell you, I go back all the way back to the 1980 Olympics. Don't boycott the Olympics. And I remember many, many, many years ago that I wrote a story, Don't Boycott the Olympics, and it bit us because they boycotted us in L.A. when I was there. So at that point, President Carter initiated it, and the Russians paid us back. So, yeah, I agree. You can't mix politics and sports. And come on, we're talking about the kids. I mean, this is a Little League. Well, you're talking about the Olympics is one thing. We're talking about Little League people. All right. Yeah. President Trump, by the way, speaking of the president, cuts off free tuition, food aid, and health benefits to illegal immigrants, putting Americans first. This, according to Fox News.
Well, I'll tell you what, that America First slogan, it's a slippery slope. I like the idea of America First. I do. I think we should take care of people here first. I think people forget that these, Philadelphia, LA, Miami, these are cities that were filled full of people who came here to be American, and they've added a lot of flavor to our country. Our country wouldn't be the same without the people who come from overseas. I mean, it is what it is. But in regards to spending money on people who aren't American citizens, people who come here and don't have legal right and haven't gone through the process to become Americans, I kind of agree that we shouldn't be spending too much money on these people, if any at all. I think, listen, our country is like any American household. It's full of love and it's full of dysfunction all at the same time. But at the end of the day, we're all Americans, and for people who come from overseas, like many of our people have, I think that's all good, man. I love it. Come on over. We'd love to have you. But you got to go through the process. We can't have you in our house and we don't know who you are. We can't have you in our house and we don't know anything about you. That's insane. So, and why, as hard as it is for people to make money and pay their taxes and just to live, why should we be giving money to people who don't belong here? And again, I'm all for, people who come and want to be here and do the right thing and be a part of this American dream. I'm all for that, but you got to go through the process. We have homeless veterans. We have, people who are struggling, with their own medical insurance and trying to get insurance, people who can't pay their rent, can't pay for groceries, can't pay for gas. I mean, we can give breaks to American citizens, whether they were born here and they've been here for 300 years, or if they're, from Mexico or Cuba or whatever it may be. That's all good. Come and be a part of our family, but you got to go through the process. And I kind of agree with the idea of not spending money on strangers.
Well, you know what? He has been consistent about illegal immigrants since he's taken office. I give him a lot of credit there, and again, you need a president who's consistent in some areas, and he has been definitely consistent in that area. Without it.
Even saying that's kind of a slippery slope, because I don't agree with all of his tactics. But again, we're a country who's struggling financially. I think, our economy is just up and down. A lot of people are hurting right now, and you have a lot of hardworking Americans that they could use some help. They can use some relief. So again, it's tough when you bring up food and kids, and you want to take care of kids regardless of what they look like and where they're from. But we have to take care of those people who are in our house first, our family first. So in that sense, I do believe in America first.
I'm going to bring Candy Ebling on for a few moments. I wanted to talk about a couple things that we've talked about earlier in the show. Candy, first of all, I need your take about the 10,000 volunteers drinking wine for 4 years. What do you think of that one?
Where can I sign up?
Right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Good for them. I mean, I don't think it'll be a hard for them to find volunteers for that. I think it's going to be an interesting study.
Yeah. I want to know exactly what they're looking for. What is the trial? What's the focus of the trial really? You know what I mean? What are they aiming at here?
And you have to have qualifications to qualify to be part of the study, or can you just anybody sign up? Because if you're going to try and get the effects, well, you have to know the background of all the people that are in the study as well.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, the study basically says that the long-term health effects of moderate alcohol consumption, specifically wine, that's what it says. So
I get that, Scott.
I'm just going in general as they tell me.
What I'm saying is the effects of wine for a long time would be different from me than it is from you, and then it would be from Marvin. We all come from different health backgrounds and have different health challenges or anything like that. So I just wonder what the criteria is, and is there like age limits? And I just said it would be interesting.
Are they getting paid? That's what I want to know. Are they getting paid for this? Or you said volunteers, right?
Yeah, volunteers means they get paid.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But
drinking wine, I don't need to be paid to do that. Just give me the darn wine and I'll knock it down, man. I don't really frankly care. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, basically, I'm on sleeping medication just to calm me down, and that doesn't even work. I may need a Louisville Slugger. But for 4 years doing this stuff, it's bad. And I don't call myself an alcoholic here. We're to drink alcohol consumption. There's a difference between alcoholic and alcohol consumption.
Big difference. Big difference.
All right, so Candy, go ahead and get a little political with you. You don't do it too often. How the Venezuelan Little League team denied the U.S. visas?
that's sad, because I agree. Marvin had talked about, I don't think politics should get involved with kids. I mean, we're here to benefit the kids. Whatever we can do to help benefit the kids, I think is what we need to do, and we need to focus on that. We need to stop such divisions. Although I do agree with your next topic, if you want to ask me that one about like Trump and about people being legally here. You do need to be legally here, because I think if you're a member of the society, you want all of what comes to us, whether it be food stamps, whether it be Social Security, you have to pay into those, not just come over here legally and think that you can get that, or free healthcare. Like that's not fair to those of us that work hard to pay into it, to have health insurance and stuff like that. So
absolutely. And listen, and again, I welcome everybody to come from wherever you're at, for as many problems as we have, and we have a lot of them. Again, it's a great country and a tremendous opportunity here for those who want to work hard. And I recognize that our wonderful country is made up of people all over the world who are now Americans, regardless of where they come from. I'm all for it, especially growing up in LA and New York. Trust me, my friends are from all backgrounds, and we're all Americans, and I love them all. But again, you don't want people in your house who you don't know. That's just insane. And so.
So let's go to the chat room. Really interesting comment. I really like this. It was an April Fool's joke. I probably might even agree with it more. Barry Bonds just bought the race. No, that might be a pretty good April Fool's joke. Okay, I made that up. Tough crowd. No big deal, John Connor. We appreciate humor, especially on this type of show for sure. So we'll give you a pass on that. But I really like the idea that somebody's dropping off the long comment in there, and I applaud him as well. Candy, do you want to go ahead and comment on the other topic now that you invited yourself to tell it?
Which one? Well, I talked a little bit about
the illegal immigrants.
That I talked about that. I think that people need to come here legally. There is a legal way to do it, and I'm all for that. And I'm all for people to come, because I think that we are a better country with all the diversification and the acceptance of all that. But there is a legal way to come and an illegal way to come, and you need to come legally so that you can be part of our society, and that you can contribute, whether it be you work for society, whatever it is. I just don't think you should come illegally and then be given out our resources for you. We're taking away from the people that are here legally, that are paying into and being a part of society. So that's where I have the problem.
Listen, we have teachers who are overworked, underpaid. Again, we have veterans who have served this country and struggle with mental health and so many other issues. I mean, there are so many groups in our country that do so much for us, that need our help. That's where our dollar should be going.
Agreed.
Okay. All right, Katie, guess what? Now that you're on, let's go to a station break. We'll continue on. Just so you know, the Sports Exchange is on at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time as we get ready to go. This is the Motor City Madmouth and Marvin on the Mic show, presented by the South Florida Tribune. Candy, for the station break, please. Thank you.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40 plus years in the industry. And I should say 45 plus, because it's that long at this point. 47. But he wrote this book about it and how his time has evolved and how it has changed over the years. A lot of it has changed. There's social media. There's all kinds of different stuff now. So go get this book, check it out, especially if you want to be in anything in the media, whether it be the written side or the broadcast side. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also the audio version is out as well. So go seek for the audio version if you're one that likes to listen to books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content. So go check it out. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas or show ideas, you can always email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, if you see that red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. to the South Florida Tribune. Why not? Just do it. Click it, like, share us with all your friends and family, and then turn on your notifications so you're notified anytime we go live, because you don't want to miss all the wonderful programming we have on this channel, whether it be baseball, football, hockey, fighting, anything goes. You got to be there. Get the notification so you don't miss. Thanks, Scott.
All right, there we go. Thank you very much, Candy. All right, Marvin, let's talk a little bit of sports. Before the season, actually, Rob Gronkowski picked the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl. How things have changed for the Lions. What happened to the Lions?
Well, this is before we realized the real impact of Ben Johnson. I think, he was watching that Jared Goff offense with Ben Johnson, and I think people really underestimated what Ben Johnson's impact on that team was. Well, we know now, because that missing Detroit offense went to Chicago. Chicago was one game away from the championship game, and and Ben Johnson has turned Caleb Williams into, is he going to make it? Is he going to be a bust? Into a guy who's looking like he'll be a future Pro Bowler and probably a lot more. So Gronk wasn't crazy with that prediction. He wasn't. I mean, Detroit's looked really good over the last couple of years, especially when they had Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn as their coordinators. Glenn's in New York. That isn't going great. But Ben Johnson is in Chicago, making Caleb Williams, for the most part, look like a budding star. And in the meantime, you got Bubba Gump over there calling plays, as if he's a play caller. And I love Dan Campbell. I love my former players, but I think he's a leader. I think he's a strong leader. I think he's a leader of men, but I don't think he's an OC.
No, I agree. I mean, Dan Campbell, to me, doesn't need to be calling plays. He just can't continue to be a gambling man every time you have a fourth down, and it costs him a few games. Because I'm not going to tell the man how to coach. He's certainly way better than I am, for sure. But there's no question that Jared Goff was a different quarterback when Ben Johnson was there. We'll see what their new guy produces, and we'll get to him on another show. So talking about Gronkowski, what are your thoughts about Rob Gronkowski as a Fox studio host and a broadcaster per se?
Listen, let me give this shout out. My brother, Jackson Powell, played football at Arizona, and he played there with Gronk. When Gronk was there, he said Gronk was a great guy, was a great guy to hang around, was a leader, if you will. So because of that, I've always had a lot of love for Gronk. Gronk knows the game, man. Listen, he's a genius in his own way. He's absolutely a Hall of Fame player, one of the best players of his day. You can definitely look at Gronk as an all-time great tight end, phenomenal blocker, devastating blocker for as big as he is, really athletic, made some really great catches, as a receiver. When you have the GOAT throwing you the ball, it probably isn't too difficult, but at the same time, Gronk was clutch. He was clutch. He was consistent. You could rely on him. And for all the jokes and all the stuff they say about Gronk, he was a player, man. He was a real player, and he's somebody who I respect because he had an old school way of looking at it. He had an old school way of playing. He reminds me in many ways of a much more athletic Mark Bavaro for the Giants. But in regards to him being in the booth, in regards to him calling games and just being in the media, I think he does a good job. I think he is what he is, and you don't expect him to be Brady in the booth, right? You don't expect him to be some of these other guys. He's his own personality. He has his own way. He has his own energy. And I think he's a strong communicator in his own way. And I think more importantly, for TV, people love him. People love Gronk because he's authentic. He's authentic. He's himself. And he gives it to you raw.
Well, I mean, definitely likable. Tom Brady's obviously in a play-by-play booth. He's in the studio, so he can interact with him. But nevertheless, you still see his personality either way, and that's what it's all about. Who knows? Down the road, many years ago, Terry Bradshaw started out in the booth and landed over in the studio, and that'd be for another day for sure. So as we continue, one of the things we're going to talk about a little bit more now in the show are backup quarterbacks. So earlier in the year, the Giants actually, let's see, Tommy DeVito was claimed by the New England Patriots. I don't know what kind of a role he's had there, but it's always good to have that insurance policy, isn't it? And Danny DeVito didn't do too badly with the Giants.
DeVito was awesome with the Giants, man. He was a fan favorite. People love that guy. I'm going to jump out and say he was Italian. He's Italian, which definitely goes well with the New York area. So they loved him, man. And he, athletic kid, played hard. He was a young player with the Giants, but he gave them some juice at times, gave them some energy at times. Going to the Patriots, I mean, that's a great move. Now, Giant fans don't like that because anybody in New York, if you're a New York sports fan, you don't do anything Boston. You don't support anything Boston. Trust me, I know from my days living in New York when my dad was with the Jets. But yeah, DeVito is a good player. I think he's a good young player. And I think being in New England, he found himself in a very promising situation.
Excellent points. All right, let's talk about Jarrett Stidham leading the Denver Broncos. He'll be starting on Sunday. Give me your overall thoughts about what you can expect against, obviously, his own team.
You're looking at Jarrett Stidham going in there as a backup, and really, I think the first guy you think of is Nick Foles, right? And you're hoping, if you're the Broncos, you're hoping that Stidham can bring the Broncos what Foles did for the Eagles, and that's obviously going through the playoffs and winning a Super Bowl. I don't know if that's an anomaly or if that's just something that we can expect from a professional quarterback, regardless of him being first string or second string. But he's been in the league for like 7 years. Sean Payton, I think it's fair to say he might be a quarterback guru. You saw what he did with Drew Brees' career. Drew Brees was a Pro Bowl player when he went to New Orleans, and I think Sean Payton elevated his game, and now he's considered to be one of the best of all time. Sean Payton speaks very highly of Stidham, as he should. He's been in his system now all season, and I'm expecting Stidham to play well. Now, well enough to win, I don't know, because the Patriots are really good. I think they play well on defense. Defense travels, or head coach variable. He's a defensive guy, so they're gonna throw everything at this kid. And I shouldn't even say kid, because again, 7 years in the league, you're not a kid anymore. But in regards to his reps, he's still young. He doesn't have that in-game experience that you would want going into the AFC Championship. But this is going to be definitely an uphill battle, but it's a winnable battle. Okay, so I'm curious to see what we get. Peyton said he feels like he's a starter, that he's a backup who's really a starter. So we're going to find out if that's coach talk or if Sean Payton has something in his bag there.
Well, Peyton went on to say he could start for other teams, but he stayed here. So that obviously speaks volumes about. And this kid right now, is he really under pressure? I say no, he's not under any pressure. Nobody expects a whole lot out of him. Bo Nix goes down, but he's under pressure because they want him to get to the Super Bowl. And if they get to the Super Bowl, he has a couple more weeks to prepare a little bit more than he has now. But let's just get past the AFC Championship game first, and then you proceed from there.
This is a big game for him because, listen, if this guy plays well, he can make $100 million just in this game, period, in future contracts. And if he goes out there and he's a dud, then we know he'll be a career backup for the most part, which isn't a bad job to have in the NFL. Being a backup quarterback, you make a lot of money with no concussions. But this is a big game for Denver, big game for Sean Payton. They made a big move in getting rid of Russell Wilson. They're still paying this guy. I think they paid him like $35 million this year. So, we're gonna see if Sean Payton, who I'm calling the guru, quarterback guru, can have his guy ready and see if this guy's really an NFL starter. Because if he is, this could be a career-changing opportunity for him.
Well, that's a great point. He is auditioning for 31 other teams, and if you can be able to perform well, obviously in the AFC Championship game, well, you're right. We've seen crazier things happen with quick results. Great point all the way around. Our final topic of the night, we're going to talk about the highest paid safeties in the NFL. Kyle Hamilton leads the way at $25.1 million. Kirby Joseph, $21.25 million. Antoine Winfield Jr., $21.02 million. Obviously, Hamilton plays with the Ravens, Joseph with the Lions, Winfield with the Bucks, Derwin James Jr. with the Chargers gets $19 million, and Budda Baker with the Cardinals, $18 million. So Kyle Hamilton reset the market. What are your thoughts about these tight ends?
Listen, I'm a USC Trojan. Our number one rival is Notre Dame. I saw Kyle play quite a few times at Notre Dame and against USC. This is a phenomenal player. He's a different player. This is I'm not going to go as far as call him a generational player, but he's a game changer. He's really smart. He's really physical, tall, lean guy, but physical in the run game, plays close to the line of scrimmage, can cover man-to-man, can cover tight ends, can cover receivers. You see him in the slot. I mean, they use him all over the place. Reminds me a little bit of Trey Palamulo from the Steelers, former Trojan as well. But yeah, Hamilton's is the real deal. Probably the best, one of the best safeties in the league. No, more than that, one of the best defensive players, one of the best players in the league. I think he had an unfortunate injury toward the end of the season, but he's worth all the money they're paying him. He leads that defense. He runs that defense. He's really the heart and soul of that defense. And, for him to go down was tough. But, yeah, if he's one of the top paid guys, it makes sense to me. That defense relied on him heavily, and he's a big part of what they're trying to do. So, yeah, he's the real deal, and he's been consistent. And he's just, he went in the first round, I believe, to the Ravens, and he's definitely showed them that he was worthy of that first round pick.
Well, let's face the reality. The price has gone up on safeties. Look what happened to the Detroit Lions when Kirby Joseph went down. Their season went down with it because the Lions were vulnerable in their secondary for sure. So these guys are being paid a lot of money because of what they do. And when you're talking about a very, very big passing-oriented league, cornerbacks and safeties are at a premium. That's why you see many of them get drafted into higher rounds in the NFL draft as well. So that's why many of them are getting paid. So well, there you have it. Another edition of the Motor City Man Mouth and Marvin on the Mic show, presented by the South Florida Tribune. We talk about everything, people. We talk about sports, a little bit of politics, not a lot, but just enough to whet your appetite about what's going on. And this is a show that's really designed to basically talk about non-sports topics as well as sports topics. And that's why we had a little bit of fun with the wine theme a little bit earlier. Following up at around 9:00 p.m. Eastern time, we have the Sports Exchange here on the South Florida Tribune Media Network as well. So this is the first of a doubleheader for us as well. Cyberuski, what's going on? Glad to have you in here, my friend. We'll have another one at 9:00. So let's get Cyberuski's opinion. Okay, Marvin, what do you think about the volunteers drinking wine for 4 years in one of the largest clinical trials? And we're talking about Spain. Cyberuski, would you drink wine for 4 years to find out about health effects? I'm sure you probably might. To moderate alcohol consumption. Let's see what this guy, I always like to talk about food topics. What do you think, Cyber? We'll see. But anyways, that'll be a topic we're actually going to talk about on the Sports Exchange as well. I'm going to add it to the agenda. Well, if he doesn't come up with an answer in about 2 minutes, you'll have an opportunity later as well.
He would not. He would not.
Okay, well, there you go. He would not. Okay, there you go. He'll just probably stick to Diet Mountain Dew, Diet Coke, or whatever else he drinks, but he would not drink wine. Great stuff. Okay, although I would support the study, but I don't drink alcohol much. There you go. I like that answer. That's a really good answer. What do you think?
Yeah, I think 9 out of 10 people would jump at the opportunity to volunteer for this study, especially if they get a free trip to Spain. Now, I think they're probably just recruiting Spaniards. That makes the most sense. But yeah, most people would jump at this. But Cyberuski, hey man, I got respect for you, bud. I do.
There you go, Cyberuski. When you put this kind of stuff in there, we read it, we show it, and we talk about it. Send that to some of your other people out there in cyberspace. With that said, Marvin, tell us what's going on in the wonderful world of Marvin Powell III.
Listen, I'm just I'm sad because this time of year you get great football, Scott, but it also means football is almost over. College football is over. That breaks my heart. The NFL, we're at the championship round, and I'm looking forward to 2 great games and then the Super Bowl. But again, when you get this late into the season, it's a reminder to me that it's almost over. And we got to wait another 7 months before we get football again. Listen, for a guy, I'm a football nerd. I always have. I've been that way my entire life.
Well, you got to get in the United Football League. Marvin, let me stop you. We have the United Football League. And we talk about it on our show on Saturday, people. It may not be the kind everybody else is looking for, but you have the United Football League. Bring football. Listen, I'm going to the Senior Bowl next week.
Yeah, right. And again,
but not like what you're used to.
No, listen, I got love for the United Football League. I love the opportunity to give young men a chance to continue to pursue their dreams. It's essentially a minor league system, if you will. And, you'll see a couple of those guys pop out and make some NFL rosters, which is cool. It's great for coaches who need coaching reps and get jobs and opportunities to try to move up to the NFL or college. So I love it for that. I love it for the opportunities it creates in an outstanding game. But, listen, I'm college football heavy, NFL heavy. This year, I think you're going to probably have me watching the United Football League. And it'll be fine. I'll look forward to it. I'll be rooting for my Trojans and recruiting for my Jets.
Well, don't worry. You're going to get a lot of that information on our show with Mel Farr Jr. Not in a couple of weeks when things start to settle down. Cyberuski, put that one up, Candy. Scott, unfortunately, I was rooting for Indiana beat UM because they did not allow you to cover the game. This guy's getting it figured out in the chat room, people. All right, I appreciate that, Cyberuski. God bless to you. And you know what? We have no problem. That's a very kosher comment. We are totally fine with that. Cyberuski, we hope you can join us also at around 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time on the Sports Exchange as well. So with that said, Marvin, we had a great show today. And obviously it'll take a little while for the Motor City Mad Mouth and Marvin on the Mic show to catch on, but that's all right. We have no problem with it. We enjoy the time frame that it is between 8 and 8:45 anyways, just to lead into the Sports Exchange. And when we can get some good comments in the chat room, we're going to post them up as long as they are compliant with the chat guidelines. And Cyberuski hit a bullseye with each and every one of his comments today. So great job, Cyberuski. He's tuning in from Twitter, and we obviously distribute it to Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course our YouTube channel as well. And as Candy mentioned, the audio version is everywhere, and she's going to give us one more last station break and fill in the blanks. Candy, aren't you?
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Mad Mouth Morgenroth, talks about his 45 plus years in the media and how it has changed over that time. Go get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. It's also out there in audio version if you're an audio person. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check out the website. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you see the red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to us. What are you waiting for? Just click it, like us, share us with all your friends and family, and then turn on your notifications so you never miss one of our great episodes. Back to you, Scott.
All right, put that other one up, Cyberuski. I told you I've been watching the shows. I haven't commented because I was in timeout. I'm thankful you gave me another chance on that. My pleasure, Cyberuski. And you'll continue to contribute as long as you can continue to comment along these positive lines. With that said, that does it for this edition of the Motor City Mad Mouth and Marvin on the Mic show. We appreciate everybody's comments in the chat room. Cyberuski as well has been a really big helpful tonight, as well as some of the other ones that participated as well. Sports Exchange obviously is going to be at the top of the hour. I'll be joined by Marvin, Candy, Tom Shanahan, and Tony as well. So we're going to have a lot of great topics to talk about as well. So on behalf of obviously Marvin Powell III, my name is Scott Morgenroth, Motor City Mad Mouth. Thank you for joining us. And yes, Cyberuski, looking forward to having you on the next one as well. Candy Ebling is our producer. We will catch you shortly. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. We will catch you. Obviously, we will not be doing this show next Wednesday night. I'll be in Mobile, Alabama, but our next episode figures to be about 2 weeks from now at the same time. So please put it on your calendars at around 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, the Motor City Mad Mouth and the Marvin and the Mic show. We talk about everything as long as it's within reason, and I'm not going to get in a difficult situation because we try to keep it fair and reasonable and real, and that's what we're aiming to do. Okay, you got it, Cyberuski. Take care, everybody. See you on the Sports Exchange shortly. Bye now.